Bill Nye is in this one. Not that one. That one. So I forgot my Pokemon cards for this. I was going to do like a little unopening, and those of you that follow me on social media know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. It's been really tough to actually record this thing. So Pokemon Detective Pikachu. It was directed by Rob Letterman, and it is based on a Nintendo 3DS video game. If it sold enough to warrant a movie, I am not sure, and I didn't look it up, but they made it and we have it. So I was at the theater at like 9:40 p.m. It was really late, yet I was the only one without a child, at least in my row. So I really felt out of place until the movie actually began. The opening scene is actually really dark and serious, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm good where I'm at. Detective Pikachu stars Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Pikachu. It stars Justice Smith as Tim Goodman, and actually has a pretty good cast. As I mentioned, Bill Nye is in this, and his son, Chris Gear, played by Chris Gear, which the whole time this guy is on screen, for some reason, I'm just thinking, like, if someone were to make a Street Fighter movie, like now, this guy should play Guile. So, that's all I kept thinking every time he was on screen. Another actress that's in here is Catherine Newton. I had not heard of her prior to this movie. She feels like the most genuine character, the most organic. As if Pokemon was a book, like a novel, she jumped right out the pages and into the big screen. She actually feels like she's from this Pokemon world. She actually feels like she was born in it and has lived in it this whole time. At the beginning, her opening lines and her whole demeanor, I was just like, oh, here we go. Because I just thought it was going to be one of those characters that it was just written for the kids and was going to make like hipster references here and there. But no, she was the opposite. I don't know what it was. I think it's her eyes. She's got those anime eyes, but she was just overall a Pokemon character, which was great. So for a first time seeing her, I really liked her performance in this, and I'm really eager to see more of her work. Justice Smith, I've been a fan of this guy ever since Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. In fact, this is actually why I wanted to watch the movie. I know everyone was excited because Ryan Reynolds, you know, voice of Pikachu. But when I first saw the trailer, as soon as I saw Justice Smith, my mind was set. I'm like, I'm sold. I'm watching this because I like the guy. He's awesome. He's really good in this. He really does a good job of conveying emotion during some of the parts where they're a little bit more serious, a little bit more sad, but he doesn't go overboard. The movie itself doesn't go overboard with them too. So your kids are not going to be crying their eyes out at this. There is drama there, but it's not overbearing. It's not overly heavy. It's really good and really does a good job to set the tone of the mystery that we're having, and actually very well conveys what the main character is going through. The comedy in this movie is great. It is very well done. There are so many jokes here, and it's not all reliant on Ryan Reynolds. It's not all relying on a Pikachu being a smart mouth and a watered down or a PG version of Deadpool. So I really like that. There's a bunch of things in here that happen that are hilarious, and all the one-liners don't come just from Pikachu. One of the things that I actually really liked was the Mr. Mime scene. That has probably got to be my favorite scene in the movie, which is weird because the first time that I saw him on the trailer, I was like, Mr. Mime, I don't know, he just seems out of place. I don't think this will work. And I also thought, when he's riding that bike, it was just like, okay, you guys are trying too hard for a punchline here. But no, that scene was actually executed very well. On that note, there's an implied death in this movie that had me laughing. That was the funniest scene in the entire movie for me. Like, I was laughing, and I was laughing hard, and I could have literally laughed for another 30 seconds straight had I not caught vibes from the people next to me. They had this, like, calm down, dude, kind of vibe, but it was amazing. One other thing that's really good in this movie is the camera work. The way the camera moves is amazing. It is fluid, it is smooth, and it walks you through the action. There's even one shot that I love that is a bit of a horror shot, and I was like, that's awesome. There's also another shot that is very reminiscent of Mission Impossible, but where it really shines through is that forest scene that you've seen in the trailers. So I'm not gonna go into too much detail about it, but just look around for it. You will notice it, especially around that area of the film. So like I said, the beginning of this movie was pretty dark, but that's because it has to establish the mystery that's gonna go on. And that's done really well at the beginning. However, one thing that the movie did was it shot itself in the foot a little bit, because once the villain's motivations are explained and revealed, it's one of those things where it would have been fine if this movie was completely just a kid's movie. However, it did such a good job of establishing the mystery and establishing a serious tone. And once the villain's plans get revealed, you're sitting there thinking like, wow, this is a cartoon. This should have stayed a cartoon if that's what your conflict was going to be. Unfortunately, another bad thing about the story is that it does feel rushed, more along a little bit after the halfway point towards the end. And again, I go back to saying the movie shot itself in the foot. So it did a good job of establishing the mystery and showing these characters slowly get clues to what's going on. Now, there comes a point in the movie where I guess they were going for a bigger reveal, but it just felt like they did too good of a job slowly getting clues, and then they found out, they're like, oh wait, we got to wrap this up. We only got 45 minutes left in the movie. We need to go. So after that, the way the clues get revealed seems a little bit too convenient for the characters and seems to happen just a little too fast. On the last bit of negatives, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, but the Pokemon look hideous. They still look ugly in my opinion. That's one thing that I noticed from the trailers. Pikachu himself looks pretty decent. But that's about it. The rest look hideous. And what's worse is their eyes. Mewtwo has really bad looking eyes, and so does Psyduck. But Pikachu's eyes look decent. However, the one that had the most realistic, most beautiful eyes was Bulbasaur. For example, Bulbasaur has really convincing eyes, but the texture on Bulbasaur's skin are gross. I don't know what this thing is supposed to be. Is it a frog? Is it a lizard? I don't know. That being said, there are some moments where the animation is really good. There's a scene where Pikachu gets wet and his fur looks amazingly real. It looks like a dog got wet. And for them to be able to pull off wet fur at the bright shade of yellow that Pikachu is, I thought was a major accomplishment. And for those of you that may not like my opinion on the artwork, let me go ahead and explain myself. A little while back, I found this picture on the internet, and it was great. It looked like mice that resembled Pikachu, and we all know that Pikachu is a mouse Pokemon. And I thought, hey, if they ever made a Pokemon movie in real life, this is the direction they should go. Because it looks very real, representing our reality. However, it also does a very good job representing the source material, and it's a very good adaptation of what we're seeing. Instead, they went with a direct translation round. That didn't work for me. However, I'm not going to take many points off just because of that. That's just a personal opinion. That's just a nitpick. I already knew I wasn't on board with the designs of the Pokemon, even though they look exactly like the games from the get-go, just because I think they could have done better, to be honest. So real quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and say this picture, property of Capcom. Giving them credit there, and giving credit for this picture. I do apologize, I'm not sure who made this one. I just found it on the internet a long time ago. I really liked it, and I want to use it in this video. And the reason I'm giving credit to both of these images is just I can't fit it in the outro the way I normally do my outros. So yeah, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, I would really recommend it. It was funny, it was great, there's a lot of charm, and it's very heartwarming. Pokemon Detective Pikachu gets a 7 out of 10. Go watch it, go enjoy it, take your kids, go by yourself. You're gonna have a good time with this one. So I couldn't go without opening the little card pack that I mentioned earlier. So let's go ahead and see what's in it. Now, those of you that follow me on social media know that he actually issued this card while at the theater when I got my tickets. And I know they did that when I was a kid too. I guess I just forgot. And so, I don't know, I was really excited that I got one of these. Looks like we got a Pikachu? Detective Pikachu, actually. Oh, holographic, that is so cool. Lickitung. That is holographic as well. That is really awesome. Looks like you got official Pokemon merch advertisement here. Little booklet. I guess advertising the cards? Yeah, okay. So as y'all see, this review is in the car again. I personally am getting tired of the car, and I hope you guys, if y'all are getting tired of the car, please be patient with me. I am trying to find a way to do indoor recorded reviews, so be patient with me. But like always, I appreciate your support. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your motivation. Literally, the fact that you guys watch, even though it's a small number of you guys right now, it is the reason why I don't stop losing motivation to keep on doing these. So thank you very much. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. This has been DJ Myst. Peace.